Let's now talk about AWS hybrid connectivity options, which describe the different ways you can connect your on-premises environments, like data centers, offices, or remote users, to resources running inside AWS. In real-world architectures, companies rarely move everything to the cloud at once. Instead, they often run hybrid environments, where some systems stay on premises while others run in AWS. For that reason, AWS provides multiple connectivity options depending on your performance, security, cost, and availability needs. At a high level, these options fall into two main categories. Connectivity over the public internet. Private, dedicated connectivity. In this section, we'll start with connectivity over the public internet, which is usually the easiest and fastest way to get started. Connectivity over the public internet. Public internet-based connectivity uses your existing internet connection, but adds strong encryption and secure tunnels to protect data as it travels between your on-premises environment and AWS. These options are cost-effective, quick to deploy, and commonly used in early or flexible hybrid setups. AWS Site-to-Site VPN. The first and most common option is AWS Site-to-Site VPN. A site-to-site VPN creates a secure, encrypted IPsec tunnel between your on-premises network, called the customer gateway, and an AWS component such as a virtual private gateway or transit gateway. This setup allows your internal network to communicate with your VPC as if it were part of the same private network. Some important characteristics to understand. It uses IPsec encryption, ensuring that data sent over the public internet is protected. AWS automatically provides two redundant VPN tunnels, improving availability. It is relatively quick to deploy, since it does not require new physical connections. It works using your existing internet connection. Typical use cases include establishing hybrid connectivity between a data center and AWS, connecting branch offices to cloud resources, quickly enabling connectivity during migrations, temporary or backup connectivity when dedicated links are unavailable. Because of its simplicity and low setup cost, Site-to-Site VPN is often the first hybrid option companies use. AWS Client VPN. The second option under public internet connectivity is AWS Client VPN. While Site-to-Site VPN connects entire networks, Client VPN is designed for individual users. It allows employees, contractors, or remote workers to securely connect to AWS resources using a VPN client installed on their device. Key characteristics include fully managed by AWS, so you don't maintain VPN servers. Uses secure encryption for client connections. Integrates with IAM and identity providers. Supports authentication using certificates, Active Directory, or federated identity providers. Typical use cases include remote employee access to AWS workloads, secure access for contractors or temporary users, remote access to internal applications hosted in AWS Client VPN is especially useful in modern remote and hybrid work environments where users need safe, controlled access from anywhere. Summary. So to summarize, connectivity over the public internet is a flexible and fast way to connect to AWS. Site-to-Site VPN connects entire networks using encrypted tunnels, while Client VPN connects individual users securely from anywhere. Both rely on encryption to keep traffic protected, even though they use the public internet underneath. Now let's move to the second major category of hybrid connectivity: private, dedicated connectivity. Unlike VPN-based solutions that use the public internet, These options provide direct physical connections to AWS, offering higher performance, stronger isolation, and more predictable network behavior. This is especially important for organizations with strict performance, security, or compliance requirements. The main service in this category is AWS Direct Connect. AWS Direct Connect, DX. AWS Direct Connect provides a dedicated physical fiber connection between your on-premises environment, such as a data center or corporate network, and AWS. This connection does not travel over the public internet at all. Instead, traffic flows through a private network path directly into AWS, which significantly improves reliability and consistency. One of the most important characteristics of Direct Connect is predictable performance. Because your traffic does not compete with public internet traffic, you get stable latency and consistent throughput. This makes Direct Connect ideal for workloads that are sensitive to network performance. Another key advantage is enhanced security through isolation. Even though encryption can still be used, the main benefit here is that data never traverses the public internet. This helps organizations meet strict regulatory or compliance requirements. Direct Connect can also be cost-effective at scale. While it has an upfront cost, it often reduces data transfer charges when large volumes of data move between on-premises environments and AWS on a regular basis. Common use cases for AWS Direct Connect. AWS Direct Connect is typically used when organizations need secure, private connectivity for large-scale data migrations, low-latency access for performance-sensitive applications, high-throughput connections for analytics, media processing, or backups, compliance-driven environments that require private network paths, long-term, stable hybrid cloud architectures. In many real-world architectures, companies even combine Direct Connect with VPN. The VPN provides encryption or backup connectivity, while Direct Connect delivers consistent performance during normal operations. If you see a question mentioning private connection, dedicated circuit, low latency, predictable performance, does not use the public internet, the correct answer is almost always AWS Direct Connect. Now let's talk about centralized network management using AWS Transit Gateway, often called TGW. As cloud environments grow, organizations usually end up with many VPCs, sometimes across multiple AWS accounts and regions. If each VPC connects directly to every other VPC, the network quickly becomes complex, hard to manage, and difficult to secure. This is where AWS Transit Gateway comes in. Think of Transit Gateway as a central hub for your network. Instead of creating many point-to-point connections, all networks connect to one central gateway. This creates a clean hub and spoke architecture that is much easier to manage and scale. It's important to understand that Transit Gateway is not a connectivity method by itself, like VPN or Direct Connect. Instead, it acts as a routing hub that connects together multiple VPCs, on-premises networks through Site-to-Site VPN, on-premises networks through Direct Connect, multiple AWS accounts. Once attached, Transit Gateway handles routing between all these environments using centralized routing tables. Why Transit Gateway is important? In large environments, managing routing rules individually across dozens or hundreds of VPCs becomes extremely complex. Transit Gateway solves this by providing centralized routing control. You define routing rules in one place instead of configuring peering connections everywhere. Simplified architecture. Instead of full mesh VPC peering, everything connects to a single hub. Scalability. You can attach thousands of VPCs and connections without redesigning your network. Centralized security inspection. Traffic can be routed through shared security appliances, such as firewalls or inspection VPCs. Typical use cases for AWS Transit Gateway. Transit Gateway is commonly used when organizations need to manage large enterprise networks with many VPCs, connect multiple AWS accounts in a centralized way, build hybrid architectures using VPN or Direct Connect, enforce consistent routing and security policies, reduce complexity compared to VPC peering meshes. For example, instead of connecting 10 VPCs to each other individually, you connect all 10 to a transit gateway, and AWS handles the routing through that central hub. If a question mentions centralized routing, hub and spoke architecture, many VPCs or accounts, simplifying network connectivity, shared routing and inspection. The correct concept to think of is AWS Transit Gateway. It's the service that ties large, complex AWS networks together in a clean, scalable, and manageable way.